have a quick hour or so to kill, so I thought I would continue with home. I could see handprints from previous use, probably from whoever worked in these sewers. I wasn't sure what those wheels were for. Did I turn it anyway? Yes. We've done this before. The door was locked. A kitchen knife covered in drying blood. Thinking about it, it made me sick. I didn't even want to touch it. Did I take the knife? No. I was relieved to leave the filthy knife right where I found it. That's the exit. I remember I had to turn all the pumps off, and I also had a key. I did not want to go back. I can't remember if there was a sprint button. What's up here? Disgusting. What looked like an old videotape was sticking out. Did I take the tape? Yes. I wasn't sure what I hoped to uncover with the tape. I'm sorry if I'm skipping over the things, but we've already read them. We've been here. We've done this. In fact, we made it much further than this. The door was locked. There was a musty smell from inside. And this was the room where we turned that off. It doesn't turn anymore. I wasn't sure what those valves were for. Did I turn it anyway? Yes. I wasn't sure what the valves were for. Did I? Yes, we turned it. We turned all the valves. Wait. Is that it? Did we get them all? Yeah, I think we got them all. Okay, is it? There was a rusty ladder sunk into the water which smelled disgusting. I knew that I couldn't climb down that. Maybe I could find a way to drain the putrid water. Did I have to activate the computer thing? I think I might have had to. We'll go back and we'll get that. Oh, it's locked. Good grief. Good gravy. Through the dust I could see handprints from previous use. What the hell? Looked like I turned off the water flow in this valve. Then what did we miss? Thought I could turn this water valve to shut off its flow. Did I turn it? Yes. Yes. Right, there we go. The door is locked. Wait, what? Oh, the water's just gone now, isn't it? Right, okay. We can go down the ladder. I'm actually pretty relieved that we got left behind a little bit, because I missed something on the way out last time. Looked like the water drained out of that grate in the wall. There was a small metal key left floating in the shallow pool of rancid water. Did I take it? Yes. I pocketed the small key, but it was so odd-shaped, I had no idea what it might open. I have an idea. No, not that way. Maybe there'll be something we can watch the tape on in here. Wrong door, damn it. The door is locked. There was a musty smell from inside. Can I not use the key? Well, god damn it. Hot potatoes. The key must be for something. The door was locked. But why is the door locked? What purpose does it serve to lock the door? Anything up? Up? So... No, you fool! This is not going well at all. The smell hadn't improved much and the room was damp. What the hell is that? The door was locked. I could see a faint light within, but I have a key. There was a security camera in the room. There must have been a way to see what had happened. Maybe the VHS tape I found could be useful. I found another dead body, a sewer worker. He was a mess, but he looked like he'd been stabbed. I could see a keyring that had fallen out of his pocket. Did I take it? Yes. I worked up the nerve to snatch the keyring away and put it in my own pocket. Right, good. Keyring has keys on it. So we're gonna ignore that door for now. Ah, you suck a dick. Sky. Really, why? I mean, why? This is not acceptable. Okay, I'm back. Alright. It's good. Now this key should open the locked door. Wait. I did not want to go back. I tried a bunch of the keys on the keyring guy I found in the sewer worker, and one of them seemed to fit. Oh, God. I didn't like that one bit. I didn't mean to leave, though. A collection of stale liquor bottles covered the floor. The wall was littered with dozens of old faded papers. Whoever did this was obsessed with some local murders. According to some of the clippings, bodies had been found in ravines in the forest, and in one case, dumped in the back of an abandoned truck. I couldn't be sure, but I thought some of these same articles had also been pasted up back in those tunnels. A faded receipt was half trampled on the floor. It was from the local train station, and was for 2 tickets. I didn't know what use it could be, but did I keep the receipt? Sure. I neatly folded the soiled receipt and slipped it in my front pocket. Well, alright. Maybe we can catch these people by a trail of credit. Just one moment. If you just give me a moment. Going back the way we came, that was locked. Ay, fucking hell! Ah! I was not expecting that. That has never happened there. Oh my God. Did I find out too much? Do I know too much now? This was it. I'm sure of it. I'm sure this was the door that was locked. The shelf was full of security tapes, was strictly organized, though covered in dust. Looked like the tape I found was the one that was missing from the shelf. There was a dusty VCR on the security desk. I wondered what was on that VHS tape I found. Did I play the tape? Oh no. The video showed a man, right there in the sewers, being attacked. The tape looked fuzzy and stretched, like somebody had tampered with it. It looked like there could have been two men. Well, alright. Let's have a look in here. Was this where I found the keys? Yeah, the dead guy. And the camera. Alright. We continue forward. This must be the other end of that ventilation shaft. Whoever used it could have gotten past that flooded room with this. The ascent was slow. My leg ached, but I felt a desperate need to escape. The thought of that videotape still gave me chills. Who was that? Didn't want to be seen. Was it the same person that hid all those newspaper clippings away in that locked room? As I reached the top of the ladder, part of me hoped I would never know. I pushed aside my thoughts as I struggled up with the latch above me, and as I swung up the cover to make my escape, I caught the scent of fresh pine trees. Alright, we're out. This isn't scary at all. Just wandering along. What the hell was that, eyes? Oh dear. I do not like these eyes in the background. An old ladder leading up an ancient water tower. The ladder needed to be extended so I could climb it. Did I extend the ladder? Oh yes, we did. I popped the latch and brought the ladder down. Then I climbed the ladder in 3 swift steps. In a patch of smeared dirt and grass there was a beat-up old wallet. I thought it was mine. Did I take it? The wallet was missing ID or cards, but it had a bit of cash left in it. I slid it into my back pocket and wondered where my credit card and driver's license were. From the railing I could see over the woods and down to the entrance to the sewers. Had I come through there before? If I did, someone definitely could have seen me. Right. Right, no, we don't want to go that way yet. There's a train station area. I tried the little key I'd fished out of the murky puddle in the sewers. It fit and I heaved open the rusty door. The wind was picking up a bit. The night air had become strangely chilly. Eyes in the chain link fence, staring at me. Why do they stare? The old train station was quiet as a tomb. The only sound was that of the increasing wind buffeting the decrepit structure. An old ticket booth that looked fairly ruined. Inside the ticket window was sheets of paper and... Wait! What were these? Train receipts? I thought the receipt I had picked up might match these, but of course not. The station had been closed for years. The ticket must have been for the newer station that opened up on the other side of town after this one was abandoned. However, I noticed a series of fresher-looking paper covered in tiny notes, scribbles, and diagrams. Let me through. That's it. It's very Resident Evil-like with the doors. Even the footsteps sound very Resident Evil-like. Trip. An old map encased in glass hung on the wall. It was the train route connected to that old station. As I looked at it, it seemed familiar. Of course! The map I found in those tunnels had similar locations marked, and the notes I found on the other man's bookshelf. His notes mentioned the water tower and even this train yard. What was he doing coming back here? Who knows what he was doing? I'm guessing he was hiding bodies and getting rid of evidence. In the torn opening of that ruined train were heaps of dirt and stale water. At the bottom I thought I saw a scrap of cloth. As I looked closer, I could see that it was definitely some kind of nylon. Maybe a windbreaker or some other outdoor clothing. There was too much of a mess on the ground to see any kind of footprints, but someone or something had definitely trod a regular path. But we cannot trod that same path. Or maybe we just did. Maybe it was from the train to the door, and nothing more. Is that everything in here? I'm sure I remember more. I'm sure there was more. We looked at the chain, we got some info. Oh, it's a light. Let's go into the spooky forest. This must have been the entrance to the forest that was mentioned on the map I had seen. Whoever was poking around in those tunnels underneath that man's house had scribbled notes on this place, but I couldn't make them out. Here the sign pointing out various campsites and walking paths within the woods. It mentioned a river and maybe a washroom, but the rest was too faded to see clearly. So there's two. We'll go for this one first. Trampled into the dirt and grass was a plastic card of some kind. I brushed it off and was surprised to see it was my credit card. I wasn't sure if it was still usable, but it was mine. Did I take back my credit card? Yes. I pocketed the credit card. Hopefully I could find my driver's license, too. Through the fence I could see a dilapidated outbuilding. I wondered if I could find my way around. I bet you I can. So how many entrances was there here? Just the two, yeah, alright. Oh, how fun. There was a fire pit there. It was still a bit warm, and a few embers still burned at the bottom. Two folding camping chairs were on the ground. One was knocked over. There were a couple of cans of beer spilled on the ground. The cheap dome tent slept two people. I shone my flashlight inside and could see some bedrolls, two backpacks, and a cooler. I felt like if I kept rooting through the campsite, someone would walk in on me. Whoever was here left this place in a hurry, but why? Was someone else out in these woods? Why did they abandon their campsite? Let's check this one. Ah, we found our way around. The grimy sink had a small patch in it that looked almost clean. There wasn't much in the way of clean water there, but the sink did work. A musty wooden plank propped the stall door. It didn't really seem useful. Did I bother to take it? Yes, I wasn't sure why, but I took the plank. The washroom stall was filthy and disgusting. I wanted to get away as quickly as possible. Let's peep what's through here. That's the exit. We'll come back to that. Hello? Somebody there? There was some personal effects shoved back into the rock. Wait, there was a notebook there too. Did I read it? Inside the cheap dollar store notebook was page after worn page of names and lists. None of it made much sense. The newest page contained several names. Heather, Olivia, Ashley, Cheryl, Iris, Daphne, Holly, Rose, Rachel. Rachel, her name was last on the list and had a mark beside it in blue ink. The names Daphne and Olivia had been crossed out in the same blue ink. Cheryl, Heather, and Rose had also been crossed out, but these marks looked older and more faded. Rachel? Who are all these names? I could only think about how much I needed to get home to make sure Rachel was okay. Wait, was there another way back here? No. Let's go this way. I think this is the way. Aha. We're getting somewhere. The river. The worn picnic table stood within a circle of trees like an altar. It was covered in faint markings and carvings from who I assumed were previous campers and hikers. The plank I found was long enough to form a crude bridge, but I wasn't sure if it would hold. Did I use it? Hey! Hello? Two bodies, two young women, were half dug into a hasty, shallow grave between the trees. The younger-looking one was still face up, her dead eyes gleaming against my flashlight. They deserved better than that. Did I clean up the gravesite? No. The thought of touching those poor girls almost made me sick. I left everything right where it was. The police could sort it out. Did I cross back over to the other shore? Now we need to leave. I think we found everything here. I can't remember the way, I don't think. No, that's not the way. Hey! The sign was the same as the first one I had seen. This must have been the exit to the other side of the woods. I had finally found the exit. Once I left, I knew I never wanted to return there. Through the dense trees, I could finally start to see some light. I must have been at the edge of the forest, though I wasn't sure where the path ahead me led. I could almost feel the cryptic notebook in my pocket as I tried to think about what it could mean and where the campers who had abandoned their site. Would I meet them too? Through the patch ahead of me was less dense, I still felt guarded and wary. Who knew what was ahead? A door. As I stepped through the gate, I suddenly recognized the auto parts factory where I had worked as a machinist for all those years. The plant had closed almost 3 years ago. Now times were better then. I thought I could hear a faint rustling behind me. Maybe it was just the wind. I hope it's just the wind. Oh, which way do I go? That's to the city, I think. Oh! F-4! Man. Cool. I like it. Scary. One of the lockers hung open. Its contents were tossed around like someone had been looking for something. There was a large power box with 5 lights on it. Cables bust out of the box, snaking off to other parts of the factory. The metal was starting to wear, and cobwebs had collected on the corners. The box wasn't receiving power. The door was locked tight. It seemed to be connected to the power box beside it. The door was locked shut, and there was a little electronic box under the handle. A sign was pasted to the front that said, "Danger, closed for repairs." Well, we have to go upstairs then, where that noise was. That's awesome. Every part of this plant smelled old and rotted. I noticed the old bulletin board on the wall. The board contained yellowed clippings of newspaper cartoons and notices. There were notes to and from the guys that worked here. One of them was to Norman, who was one of the older guys on the line. Norman took over a general store after the factory closed. He, Rachel, and I would get lunch every now and then. Rachel liked him because he seemed more positive, despite the setback. I don't think I could say the same about me. A power panel looked like it was shut off. Did I push the switch? The open locker was stuffed with dirty work clothes and old boots. There was a photo of a woman taped to the inside, but it was scratched out and the face was unrecognizable. A power panel looked like it was shut off. Did I push the switch? Now maybe I can turn the other one on, because I don't think that one went on. The power panel still wasn't working. Did I try it again? Yes! Power. It was shut tight. There was a rusty-looking card slot on the side. Then we must find more switches. More upstairsiness. Our old break table, the layer of dust and grime, only made seeing this sting more. Odd it seems. Let's board it up. The door had been hastily boarded up. Something on the next floor up, maybe? Something terrifying? This was Norman's locker. The door was dented like someone had punched it. I don't remember him doing that when we worked here. Another panel that I hoped could help me get the power back on. Did I push the switch? Nice. A utility shelf crammed with mismatched tools and items. There was a claw hammer on the shelf. Did I take the hammer? Yes. As I took the hammer, I noticed it wasn't as dusty as the rest of the tools on the shelf. Must have been used to put up them boards. The locker was a complete mess. Hidden at the bottom, though, was a magnetic card. Did I take the card? Yes. I slipped the key card into my pocket. Another panel that I hoped could help me get the power back on. Did I push the switch? It's this one, then. Could help me get the power back on. Did I push the switch? Oh, don't tell me I have to go back. I think I did it. I'm gonna go ahead and say I think I really did that. Should we? Yes, excellent. Hello? I stuck with the hammer. The old wooden boards came apart easily. After I removed the planks, I left the hammer on the floor. Why? Well, I want to go and turn the power on first, because I can't see nothing. I'm hoping that the lights come on. I'm hoping that big scraping metal sound wasn't down here. Oh, the power is on the bottom. The power box looked like it was running again. With the power box working again, the door was unlocked. Did I go through? Yes. No lights still? A rack of flashlights hung on the wall. One of them was missing. Is it this one? My head pounded as I stepped back outside, once again enveloped in the scent of pine trees and muck. The path beyond was terribly dark, and I was grateful that my flashlight was still working. I wandered through. Was it taken from the plant? Oh, I wondered, though. Was it taken from the plant? It sure seemed to, but how did I get a hold of it? I had little choice but to follow the path and hope that it would get me back to town. I wondered Norman and his store along the main road. Was he close? If he was, I could certainly use some help. The factory door had locked itself behind... Oh, man, there were so many doors! I had a card and everything. A pickup had been smashed into the guardrail and stood silent. Was this the truck that had those news that those newspaper clippings mentioned? Was there really a body found here too? I looked closer at the tailgate and I could see a series of dried streaks down its back. Inside the trunk was dried blood and broken glass. I was surprised this hadn't been towed away yet. Yeah, it's a bit surprising, isn't it? So, we didn't get much done in that factory. I feel we could have got a lot more done. The garbage bin was a disgusting mess of rotten food in slick black bags. I saw a thin greenish corner poking out from one of the bags. It was my driver's license. It looked damaged. Did I take it back? Yes. I cleaned the card off as best I could. It looked pretty beat up. I was amazed to have found my credit card, and now this. I took the card into my wallet next to my credit card. Sounded like it was going to start raining again. I had entered Norman's place. This was the back of the store that he ran. It was oddly quiet except for the faint sound of a television. The entrance to the front of the store was locked from the inside. Looked like I couldn't just pop it open. It needed a key. There was a bit of blood on the keyhole. I heard a noise in here, I think. What was this? It looked like a pull chain hanging from the ceiling. I wondered where it led. Did I pull the chain? I gave the chain a single tug and a simple folding ladder to the attic popped down. The TV still flickered some indecipherable channel. Oh no, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Norman, my co-worker and one of the few friends I had in this town, lay dead beside his armchair. His face and shirt were covered in blood. It looked like he'd been killed trying to get up. His eyes were still wide with shock. Norman knew deserved better than this. Did I close his eyes? Yes. I wasn't sure if I wanted to give him peace, or if I just couldn't stand to think any more about what was going on. Quickly I closed Norman's eyes. And then called the police. Find a telephone. I guess this was Norman's kitchen table. He kept it clean enough, but there were water rings from 2 cups still there in the wood. 2 cups. The kitchen trash bin smelled fresh. I didn't dig through that mess, did I? Yes, I found a hairpin amongst the rotten food and trash and pocketed it. This is getting interesting. Great, the attic. That's where I wanted to go. There was a large cardboard box that hadn't been sealed. Did I open it? Inside the old cardboard box was a pile of clothes, photos, and even shoes. As I looked closer, I realized they were Rachel's. What were you doing here, Rachel? Were you responsible for poor Norman downstairs? Still not found a key. I couldn't make out what channel it was. Did I search Norman for a key? Oh, I didn't go through this door. Oh, yes, I did. I did go through that door. Well, where the hell is the key? I must have missed it. Oh, it goes both ways. I wasn't entirely surprised to find this here. It was one of Rachel's old fall coats. I always wondered what happened to it. How long had it been there? There was a little bit of something dark staining the sleeve. Blood. There was a small, well-maintained gun cabinet here in Norman's room. I didn't know much about guns, but it looked like he had kept a few hunting rifles. I knew Norman hunted occasionally, but I didn't know him to be such a collector. Had no key. Well, excellent. I didn't. I didn't want a key anyway. What did I want a key for? You know? It's not like I need it for anything, Norman. I hope to hell Rachel had nothing to do with this mess. I couldn't make out the channel. Have another look upstairs. Maybe I missed something up here. Could happen. I've been known to miss things before. I just couldn't believe it. My head ached with everything that was running through it. Come on, man. Where's the key? We need the key. We must have the key. Back downstairs. I used the hairpin to pick the lock. The hairpin snapped in half, so I threw it away. Ah, clever. The general store was small, but it was clean. It had the usual things: postcards, snacks, magazines, and canned goods. I never went there much. Rachel usually stopped by after work if we needed anything. I bet she did. I bet that's why we're in this whole mess. The register was mostly empty, and a fat stack of travel magazines sat beside it. I wonder if someone had robbed the place before killing Norman upstairs. The icebox seemed to be unplugged. It must have been off for a while. Most of its contents were half melted. There were various postcards from the area, especially from the tourist traps. One of the postcards showed an old black and white photo of the water tower. It looked to be in a much better shape then. That night continued to take horrible turn after horrible turn. It had been weeks since I'd last seen Norman, but to find him like that, who could have done that to him? Seeing that dusty box of those old clothes was a shock. How long had they been there? And what was Rachel doing at Norman's place? I felt like I'd only discovered more questions, no answers, but I was close to home. It was time to find out the truth. It was locked. This wasn't the right gate. The gate was locked tight. This wasn't my house. Did we find it? The gate was locked tight. This wasn't my house. The neighborhood's local postbox, a letter was sticking out as if someone had pushed it all the way in. I knew it wasn't right, but did I look at the letter? The envelope was addressed to Norman. There was no return address, but the handwriting looked familiar. I took a deep breath and tore open the package. Norman, I'm sending this to you in a letter because I'm afraid to tell you this in person. What we did, well, it was wrong. My husband isn't an easy man to be with, but he is my husband and your friend. I need some time to sort this out away from you both. I'm going to go away for a while. I'm going to tell him. Norman, so don't you think that you can hold that against me? Maybe we'll work it out. I'm not sure. I even want to. But he deserves at least that much. Goodbye. I didn't know what to think. My mind was racing, my heart pounding. I had to get home. I just had to. I had the wrong gate. This one was locked. I had entered our backyard. The rain gave me a terrible sense of foreboding, and it chilled me through my clothes. I was expectant, but also afraid. What a big garden I have. I held my breath as I approached our back door. I was terrified to step inside. The house was painfully quiet. The only sound was my own breathing, ragged and strained. I flicked the light switch by the door. The power was off. Why is the power off? I remembered having breakfast here on this very table. Was that yesterday or sometime before? The table was clean. It hadn't been used any time recently. There was a small pile of mail on the floor in front of the mail slot. How long had I been away? Why hadn't Rachel picked this up? Most of the contents were bills. There was a credit card bill there. Did I open it? I ripped the bill open and read it. To my surprise, it said something about cancelling my credit card due to non-payment. What the hell? It's the front door, so we don't want to go that way yet. Check out this door. I hope it's not the basement. The door to the basement. Oh, it was locked. Where did I put that damn key? So I gotta go down there, do I? Alright. The door was stuck shut. There was an old-fashioned keyhole underneath the handle. I had found the last missing piece from my wallet. The old photo of Rachel and I stared back at me, reminding me of better times. Didn't make me feel terribly comfortable. Did I keep it anyway? Yes. I placed the photo in my wallet, feeling like I had got part of my life back. Still, the image made me uneasy. Why had I thrown it away? Our television, I had purchased it before I knew I was going to lose my job. I felt pretty guilty about it afterward, but by then it was too late. Oh dear. Wait, was there more down this way? Search everything first. Oh, the door was stuck shut. Yeah, I remember. Okay. The game keeps humming at me. The books there were half mine, half Rachel's. Hey, now that I looked more closely, it looked like the man in that house had some of the same books as I did. Oh, the man in that house. My wife's, Rachel's, suitcase was sitting on the bed. It was closed, but I had a feeling what was inside it. Did I open it? Inside Rachel's suitcase were a few days' clothes, some personal effects, and a train ticket. As I stared at the ticket, I could feel myself flush with anger and resentment. The date and time matched the receipt I had found. Our hallway mirror had been smashed, its pieces scattered around the floor. Our sink, which needed to be replaced, one of the taps always stuck, but I hadn't got around to fixing it yet. We were lucky enough to get a house with one of those wonderful old claw-footed bathtubs. It seemed impractical at times, but it was part of what made that house home. That old house was charming for sure, but it wasn't always easy. Well, nothing of importance in there. My laptop had been left on, and the only tiny bit of power left on the screen was a website about the old water tower. There was a key in the top drawer of my desk. Did I take it? I pocketed the key. If there was anything else about that, the laptop was warm. It had been running for a while. Oh, the bathroom. Yeah, alright. We can't go up anymore, can we? Was there any more doors? Did I miss anything? What about it? The door was stuck shut. There was an old-fashioned keyhole underneath the handle, but I can't open it. There was nothing else there. Rachel was pretty angry about that. Well, you know, you lost your job and you bought a TV. But, you know, shit happens. I unlocked the basement door. Oh no. Do I have to go down here? There were old Christmas decorations in the box. The garbage bags were stuffed with old paint cans and supplies. There was a dirty old key here. Did I take the key? I took the small key and tried to remember what it unlocked. There were old clothes, tools, and other things obviously hadn't been thrown out yet. I had put up this divider wall last summer so we could create a separate room in the basement. I hadn't finished it yet, so the door was stuck, and the drywall was poorly installed. I might have been able to break through if I found something heavy enough. Well, I reckon there may be something in that locked door upstairs. The grimy key I found in the basement unlocked the door. It looked like the room had been tossed around. The furniture was a mess. Did somebody break in here? There was an old crowbar on the floor. Did I need to take the crowbar? Yes. I lifted the heavy crowbar. I appreciated its weight. Let's go and break down that drywall, where I imagine there shall be a lovely little corpse for us to examine. Maybe it'll come alive and devour our soul. Did I break through the wall with the crowbar? Yes. With a heave, I swung the crowbar at the wall. I smashed a hole large enough to step through. As I stepped through the broken wall, my breath caught in my throat. This was it. Was Rachel down there? Was she okay? Don't look. Screw you, I want to look. Don't look. The stench of them was awful and made my eyes water. I was terrified to even touch the pile to see what lay within, but I knew I had to. I had come this far. After all this searching, after all I had seen, when I looked within the rags, did I finally find my Rachel? I don't know! Did I? Yes? Did I? It was worse than I could have possibly imagined. Within the folds of that rotten-smelling heavy fabric was the pale, dead figure of my darling wife. What struck me most was that she wasn't bloody or torn apart, rather she was covered in sickly green bruises and her windpipe had been crushed. The real horror there was that whoever had killed her had done so intimately, with bare hands. So this is what had been gnawing in the back of my mind the whole time. This is what I was afraid of. I thought about all I had seen and wondered if any of it could help me figure out who had done this. And when I couldn't stay there any longer, I stepped away and shaky legs and made my way back upstairs. Reluctantly exhausted from my journey, I could no longer resist the urge to close my eyes. Grim discovery. So I've woke up in bed now. Maybe I would use some of Rachel's travel books and find some place to go. Wait, did that get highlighted and then... Was there a highlight on that? Whatever it was on there. It was my wallet with its contents intact. Either I dropped that stuff or somebody else did. Maybe I was sleepwalking again. Maybe somebody stole it from me. Norman's store, that forest, the water tower. Was I at all those places before? No. No, there was no way that was me out there. I woke up in that house, remember? I wasn't off in any damn forest. Exactly, man. We were taken there. Somebody did this to us. It was a keycard I found at the bottom of that factory locker. I never did bother to use it. Someone had been going through those lockers and poking around the plant. Still, it didn't quite add up. Was I the one who had been going back to the factory? No. Somebody was using that locker room, but it definitely wasn't me. I had given up drinking, remember? Yeah, I remember, buddy. The laptop had finally run out of power. Maybe we can leave this place. That's the basement. That's not the basement, is it? No, it's not. What was that room then? I'm confused. Did I go in it? Oh, yeah. Anything new in here? I still love the old-time charm of that claw-footed bathtub, though it seems like a cold comfort then. So I'm gonna go and try that front door. It was the letter I had taken from the postbox. Rachel, were you really having an affair with Norman? But why? I didn't think things were that bad. In the letter, Rachel seemed concerned. She almost seemed worried of what Norman might do. Did he do this to Rachel? Yes, he did. I was sure of it. She wanted to end their affair, and that bastard, he killed her for it. A lot of it made sense. Norman was clearly seeing Rachel a lot, so he had plenty of time to plan it out. He knew where we lived, obviously. Is that why Rachel looked so scared when I came home that day? What had happened to me? Did Norman knock me out or something? From now on, I'd have no one to get angry with me for stupid things like buying this TV. That's so sad, Norman. You're not Norman, you're... Who are you? I forget your name. I couldn't leave, not until I had thought about this more. I needed answers. The mail still sat there, heaped on the floor. How long had Rachel been lying in the basement? There would be no more dinners here, no more chit-chat over breakfast, at least not for us. I must have locked the door. There was no reason to return to the backyard. Well, let me find my answers then. I couldn't go back down, not until I'd gone over everything. I needed to make sure I was perfectly clear. So I have to go around looking at all the little bits of evidence. My old office safe sat on the floor. I used to keep tax records and other important documents in it. Used a digital passcode lock, but I didn't have the code. Maybe I'd left it somewhere. I leafed through the notebook I had taken from the forest. In it with the names had been written down. Heather, Olivia, blah, 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 blah. I recalled the names I saw scratched out on that old desk deep within those misty tunnels. Was the man in that house really up to something? Do I not get to pick an answer for that one? I guess not. I didn't know what to think. I just wanted to put this whole mess behind me. Did I just hear something? This was the old photo. I recalled those faded remains I had found deep underneath this house. What had he done there? Well, what did I think? Was that man involved in this whole mess somehow? Definitely. Those tunnels, the odd tools in his house, and the remains of his wife. He wasn't innocent. That's for sure. There, that was decided. The reflection in that grimy glass was only a shadow, a whisper. But surely, I had made up my mind. The laptop was dead, but there was a yellow sticky note with an 8-digit code in it. 4R3. Are you here? Did I take it? Yes. The code looked like it might be for the safe. But what kind of phrase was that? Where was that safe? In here? No, it wasn't in here. I think it was upper floor. No, it wasn't upper floor, because there is no more up. Damn it. Where are you, safe? Here we go. The code I found should let me have access to the safe. Did I try and open it? The code worked. I pulled open the small safe door and peered inside. There was a photo in there of Rachel and I when we had first moved to the town. In it we were smiling outside the front of the house, which looked like a real mess. We looked happy, though. Odd, I couldn't remember who took that photo. Inside the safe was also an envelope. The front of it read, "Do not open until I tell you." I guess this was a good time as any to see what was inside. Did I open the envelope and read what was inside? Yes. I tore open the envelope and removed the yellow lined paper inside. On it was a letter written in a hand that looked familiar. The letter read, "I know this whole event has probably been pretty difficult. You can't imagine how hard it's been for me, too." Well, maybe you can. That isn't meant to be an excuse, but... well, I hope you can better understand why I've done what I've done. Moving to this town seemed like such a dream, a quiet place to get established, to live out our lives and to be together. But you know as well as I do that things quickly changed. Your drinking was one thing, but as you grew more distant, as you retreated into that world of yours, well, it was clear you didn't need me as much. In fact, maybe you never needed me at all, but it took all this to make you realize. In the end, though, you may never forgive me for this. You may never forgive yourself, but this is probably for the best. You'll be healthier for this. I'm just sorry it had to happen this way. Rachel. So, what does that mean? I know I've looked everywhere up there. I don't think I've looked everywhere there. It seemed like I'd seen all there was. Maybe I thought I was ready to go back into the basement. Or... leave. There was nothing for me here anymore, no reason to stay in that house. Did I leave, never to return? I don't know. I felt like I had to think about it a bit more. I'm gonna go to the basement. Maybe there wouldn't be anything for me to find, but I had to take a last look. Now that I stood there, I realized I couldn't go back into that room again. I'd already seen too much. I needed to put an end to this situation one way or another. What? What was that? Was that the door? There was nothing for me anymore. Did I leave the house never to return? Yes. Living in this town hadn't been easy. The plant had helped me in some way to stay grounded. Kept me in line, gave me something to do, and helped me get away from my past. When the factory closed, everything changed. I guess that was when I had started sleepwalking, disappearing for hours at a time. I had MRIs and piles of doctor's reports, but nothing seemed to help. Not even drinking. But I swear I tried to give it up, I know it. The sleepwalking never really went away, though. But I know Rachel had tried. I know she had tried to be there for me even when everything was falling apart. This night had been bad. This night had unearthed terrible truths, but I knew it was a final act of long-standing horror I'd been living. Waking up in that house tonight was the final cruelty. I wish I had remained unconscious in that room forever. It was obvious to me that the man I found in that house had something to do with all this. Could he have killed Rachel? It started to seem that there were too many things I had seen to think otherwise. After making it out of those tunnels, I thought those sewers might feel safer. I was wrong. The security tape I had watched showed someone being attacked by what looked like two people. But who was it that was attacked? With Rachel gone, the implications of what had happened that night were starting to gnaw at me. Someone had clearly taken my wallet. It wasn't me in those woods or at Norman's. But who could have done so, and why drop my things all over the place? Was someone trying to incriminate me? Deep within those woods, though, was where things became truly awful. Finding that notebook only made things worse. Rachel's name had been on that list, so what terrible plot was she a part of? There was a similar list of names on that desk back in those tunnels. What was the connection? My whereabouts were still confusing, but I was at least sure that it wasn't me who had come back to the factory time and time again. I hoped that meant I wasn't responsible for what happened to the poor guard, or the old locker room for that matter. After all, it had been a long time since I'd had anything to drink, hadn't it? After the factory, I thought I could find solace if I could just get Norman's store. But all I'd found were more horrors and more questions. Now that I really consider it, that's when I should have seen it coming. Norman, you were dead, and it was damn hard to feel bad about that. It was clear you and Rachel were more than just friends, but obviously whatever had been going on had gone badly, so why did you kill her? Did she want out of whatever you two were getting into? Were you responsible for the other murders and of those other horrible things that had gone on in that town? I would find no peace, that much was certain, but this way I didn't have to look you in the eye or sit through some kind of trial and wonder what was going through your head. When I had marched through the rain towards home, I desperately clung to the hope that this would end. And I guess, in a way, it did. But how could I have known how hopeless it all was? I had started to feel as disoriented as when I sleepwalked. To think of it now, coming through the back door and into the kitchen, should have tipped me off that something was horribly wrong. There was no sound of television, radio, even the air was still. But seeing Rachel there lying ruined and discarded in the basement, that was a horror I could never have imagined. That other man I had found was involved in this, and somehow I knew it. But it was Norman, that treacherous son of a bitch, who had done the deed. Whatever was going on, he was the one who took Rachel away from me. I hated him for it more than I possibly could express, but that offered no strength, no solace. Rachel was gone now, and I was too. Forever. As I swung open the door and I stepped out in the air, I caught a scent of wet grass and fog. Rachel, my beautiful wife. Just the thought of her again, cold and inert, shook me from head to toe. What would I do now? Who could I turn to? It would only be a matter of time before the police got involved, before the neighbors knew. The front lawn was soft and giving beneath my feet, and I couldn't shake the way that I shouldn't stand there, but rather that I should run. What? Is that it? But I have so many questions. Who was the man? I didn't get a good enough look around in that fact. But that was good. I liked it. I think you get to kind of pick your own ending, I think. Or maybe you have to piece all the puzzle bits together, and... Home is dedicated to my wife, Nancy. Watch your back. That's a nice message to his wife. Well, good luck, Nancy. And, yeah, that was good. I liked it. Oh, that's bright. That's so bright. My eyes. Ugh. I can continue. There would be no more dinners. But why can I continue? I couldn't go back down into the basement. But why? Oh, I need to go. I wonder if it starts me from... It seemed like there was mail on the floor there. Do I have to look at everything again? I didn't know what to think. I just wanted to put this whole mess behind me. Just thinking about things like that made me sick with grief. God damn it. Can I even look at things again? I don't even know. I'm just going on a whim. My old office safe sat on the floor. I used to keep tax records and other important documents in it. Used the digital passcode lock, but I didn't have the code. Maybe I'd left it somewhere. I leafed with the notebook I had taken from the forest in it with the names that had been written down, ever blah blah. I recalled the names I saw scratched out on that old desk, deep within the rusty tunnels. Was the man in that house really up to something? I believe he was. Let's see if we can piece together a better story than what we got. The reflection in that grimy glass was only a shadow, a whisper. Rachel loved this part of the house. I had made up my mind. Ah, so that's already been read. The laptop was dead, but I found some notes. There was a yellow stick note with an 8-digit code in it. Are you here? Yes, I took it. Right. So, I guess it's... Wait, go back up. This was the old photo of that man and his wife. I found it in that house. I recalled those faded remains I found deep underneath his house. What had he done there? Well, what did I think? Was that man involved in this whole mess somehow? Yeah, definitely those tunnels, those tools in his house, and the remains of his wife. He wasn't innocent, that's for sure. There, that was decided. No matter what. Well, can I not undecide it? Yeah, it seemed like I'd seen all that was. Maybe I thought I was ready to get back into the basement. Yeah, let's take a last look, buddy. It's gonna stop me again? Now that I stood there, I realized I couldn't go back into that room again. I'd already seen too much. You don't want to go down that road. It seemed like that mail. There was nothing for me anymore. No reason did I leave never to return. Yes, I did. Living in this town beneath it kept me in line, gave me something to do, and helped me get away. I guess that was when I started sleepwalking this thing, get my eyes. Give it up. Rachel tried. Unearthed terrible truths. Final cruelty. Man house killed Rachel. Tunnel security tape. Water tower attacked Rachel. Okay. Okay, well, I thank you for watching, guys. This was a real good game. I'm going to cut it out there. I might take another stab at it and get real deep into the searching, but I really must dash. I'm going to be late. So, until the next time, you keep not killing people and disappearing, waking up in odd houses, and we'll all be fine, and we won't have these stories in our own lives. Goodbye.